Have you ever watched something happen that you knew you could prevent, but you didn't? Maybe you watched by and just let it happen, and you knew you could speak up if you wanted to, but you just watched the event unfold. Maybe it was somebody being bullied, maybe somebody's getting picked on, maybe somebody's getting abused. Maybe you were the one doing bullying. The quote that I chose is about a period in history when many people stood by and watched as horrors occurred. They didn't stop, though a few tried, and as a result, an entire generation was almost wiped out. Here's my quote. First they came for the communists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a socialist. And then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak for me. Today I'm going to talk about the historical significance of this speech, who said it, and what it means for us today. So I originally saw this when I went to Washington, D.C. It was in the Holocaust Memorial Museum on the wall somewhere. It was actually a quote from a pastor named Martin Niemöller. He was a Lutheran pastor, and he was actually an anti-Semite, and he was an anti-communist. And he supported Hitler's rise to power. He didn't care that the communists were being deported to concentration camps. He was more concerned for the church and his own needs. And he didn't care when the Jews started becoming deported, when they started to get repressed. He said nothing wrong with other minorities that happened too. But eventually he became disillusioned with Hitler and started to go against the Third Reich. And for that, he actually had a group that he formed with a bunch of other Lutheran pastors, and they began to start a resistance movement against the Third Reich. And for this, he was imprisoned in Dachau. He was arrested and sent to a concentration camp. And he was there for 7 years, I think, until the Allied soldiers went and saved him, or rescued, liberated the camp. And after the war, he advocated for peace and he saw the error in his ways. But what does this quote mean for us today? Would you speak up if you saw injustices like this happening? Would you put your life on the line for another person? This man was a religious leader, and he didn't speak up. So what makes us think that we would? I'd like to say that I would speak up, but I think we'd all like to say that we'd speak up. But I can cite specific times in my life where I haven't spoken up. I've let other people be bullied, and I've just watched them be bullied. Thankfully, I haven't been the victim too much in my life, but I can see how bad the spot it would be in, and especially to have no one help you, it'd just be awful. But if I was a victim, I would think that I would want a person to stand up for me. But why should they? I mean, I haven't always been there for them, and why should they be there for me? So the biggest thing I think we can take from this quote is the importance of speaking up for others. We need to learn from history to make sure that it isn't repeated, and we need to speak out in favor of others so that when we're in need, they'll speak out for us.